So hi again. We're going to practice some gentle yoga together until 8, and then there's a stronger flow from 10 past 8. So the practice this morning is a little bit different from the kind of gentle yoga I've been doing in previous sessions. We're going to start with more of a breathing practice and then come into some very, very gentle movement. So if you're feeling like you're going to want more energizing, more stretching, I would really recommend that you practice this first gentle class with me, and then come into the Hatha Flow class this morning. It's going to be sun salutation based, and maybe a little bit more accessible than some of the stronger flow classes I've been doing. Let's see how it goes. So if you'd like to come to an easy seat, absolutely fine to sit on a chair for this part of the practice, but really making sure that you can feel down through your sitting bones, you're propped up on something and not finding yourself hunched or uncomfortable. And then taking your thumbs across the base of your fingers and curling your fingers around your thumbs and placing them lightly down on your thighs or your knees. And taking a moment to settle into the body, settle into the natural stream of the breath. And then releasing your right forefinger and bringing it up to your nose, but without closing your right nostril yet. And then taking a lovely full breath in through both nostrils. And at the top of the inhalation, closing your right nostril and breathing out through the left. Then release the nostril and breathe in through both. Close the right nostril and breathe out through the left. Breathing in through both. And then closing your right nostril and breathing out through the left. And then dropping your right hand back down to the leg. And taking a breath in and out through both nostrils. And then releasing your left finger and breathing in through both. Close your left nostril and breathe out through the right. So this isn't about forcing the breath. Just a cleansing practice, breathing in through both. Close the left and breathe out through the right. Breathing in through both. Closing the left and breathing out through the right. And then breathing in through both. And releasing your left hand down. And then we'll take 3 breaths in and out through both nostrils. So in your own time, feel the stream of the breath in and out 3 times. Not forcing, not straining. And then seeing if you can feel a slight lift of your torso up and out of the pelvis as you straighten into your left arm. So I'm actually pushing my left hand a little bit into the inner thigh or into the knee. And take a breath in. And on the breath out, really push that left knee away as you bend over to the right. And then breathing into the top. Press into the right hand, straighten the arm and breathe out as you bend over to the left. Breathe into the top. Straighten the left arm and breathe out over to the right. Feel the space in the body. Breathing into the top. Breathing out to the left. Really push that right knee or inner thigh away. Breathing in as you come to the top. Breathing out, come down to the right as you push the left leg away. And breathing in, come to the top. And breathing out, come down to the left. And then breathing in, come up to the top. And breathe out here, maybe observing how your exhalation dissolves into the space around you. So you might like to watch me first for the last part of this 9-part breath before we do it 3 times together. You're going to take a breath in and really feel a lightness, a brightness in the upper body. And on the breath out, you're going to come down, but you're going to go, So it's a ha breath, but you're also shaking. It's a really nice feeling. So let's do it 3 times together. Let's take a breath in. And then another breath in. And another breath in. And then breathing in, coming back to straight spine, opening your palms out. Maybe closing your eyes and taking a moment to tune into the breath, tune into the body. Again, with that sense of the end of your exhalation fading into the space around you. And if you'd like to open your eyes and bring your hand, I've got my right hand to my lower belly. So for those of you who know what Kapalabhati breath is, this is what we're coming towards, but in a very slow, progressive way. Tomorrow, the next day, we can, next morning, we do this on Friday, we'll add a layer to this. For now, next time you breathe in, can you feel your belly expanding against your hand? Like a balloon filling. And as you breathe out, can you, with a little bit of effort, draw the belly back in so you feel your navel drawing back to the spine. And on the breath in, push your belly out. On the breath out, draw the belly back in. And then if you're comfortable with this, next time you breathe out and you draw the belly in, make a noise like this through the nostrils. So what you're doing is as you draw the belly back in, you're pushing the air out through your nostrils. You're forcing the air out, and it's a little bit like a really, really slow steam train, just getting ready to leave the station. And I'm aware that some of you might find this very unfamiliar and maybe it even makes you a little bit dizzy. If that's the case, every time you do a forced exhalation, take then a normal inhalation and exhalation before you take that forced exhalation again. But if you'd like to build on this practice, we begin to just accelerate it slightly. So I will do this and you'll hear my breath, the noise of my breath. Don't overdo it. And you keep going like this. Again, if you find this too much, you come to that just one slow forced exhalation, return to a natural breath before you do another one. Otherwise, coming to the speed that's right for you and really feeling the force of the exhalation through your nostrils as you draw your abdomen. And it's fantastic for the digestion. It's great to do in the morning and to brighten up the head. Maybe your steam train is picking up a bit of speed now. Just a few more moments. And then letting go of that Kapalabhati, which in fact means skull shining breath. And closing your eyes as you fall back into the stream of a natural breath. Okay, lovely. And then opening your eyes, and we're going to practice a very traditional sequence of anti-rheumatic exercises. Now, I'm sure there are lots of people here who don't feel that rheumatism is an issue right now. I think my feet come off the screen. But actually, this series of exercises is just very lovely for warming into all of the joints, but as a meditation still with the breath. So it's really a matter of less is more. So you coming, I hope you can see my feet, coming to have your legs extended out in front of you, maybe sitting on the floor now or raised up on a cushion. Your hands can be beside you. And on the breath in, can you simply pull your toes towards you, not the whole foot? I know it's difficult. And on the breath out, scrunch your toes in. So make this a meditation on the breath. Breathing in, pull your toes towards you. And breathing out, scrunch your toes in. And breathing in, pull your toes towards you. And breathing out, scrunch your toes in. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then releasing the toes. And all the way through these Pawamuktasana, they're called. Just noticing what happens. Do you feel any more liveliness in the toes now? And then next time you breathe in, push your heels away and pull your feet towards you. And as you breathe out, point your toes, opening out the front of the ankles. And then breathing in, pull your toes towards you. And breathe out, point them. Breathing in, pull them in towards you. Breathing out, point them. Breathing in, pull them towards you. And breathing out, point them. And then release the feet. And take your feet a little bit further apart. And then beginning to simply rotate in the ankles with your own flow of the breath. So you're turning the toes in towards each other, then bringing them out to the side. Just circling into the ankles. So some of you might feel that this isn't very interesting. Start circling the opposite direction. You might feel an impatience for more movement. If that's the case, I really understand because I used to feel it myself, but can you just observe that reaction and see if you can plunge your attention into the simplicity of the movement, the simplicity of sensation. And then release the feet. And bring your right ankle over the left knee. Now, if you're able to, take your fingers in between your toes, give your foot a hand. If you're not able to, just simply hold the foot. You can hold the knee, and we're going to use the hand to crank into the ankles. So it'd be quite normal for this not to feel very smooth and fluid. My ankles feel really, really cranky. And then we can take that crank in the opposite direction. Simply feeling in. Feeling your way, feeling the skin, the bones, the tissues. And then we'll release that foot down and we'll take that to the left. Maybe giving your foot a hand, finger between each toe, or just holding the foot. And then simply circling, cranking into that ankle. And then taking a few circles in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then releasing the foot. And just noticing how you feel. Taking your fingers behind the right knee. And on a breath in, drawing the knee in towards you. And then breathing out, push the heel away and lower the leg. That's all we're going to do 4 more times. Breathing in, draw the knee towards you. Be nice and open across the chest. Breathing out, push the foot away and lower the leg down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. So you really feel into the hip and the knee socket here. Breathing in 1 more time. Breathing out. And lower the right leg down. Fingers behind the left knee. Breathing in, draw your knee towards you. And breathe out, push the foot away. Lower the leg down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Make it a meditation on the breath. Meditation on the sensations of these simple movements. 2 more. And take a moment to feel both legs. And then bringing your right ankle again over the knee. And if this isn't comfortable for you, you could bring the foot inside the thigh. And on a breath in, lightly lifting the knee. And as you breathe out, slowly take it down. So this isn't about pushing as hard as you can go, but you might ease it down a little bit. And then breathe in, lift. And breathe out, release. Breathe in, lift. And breathe out, release. And breathe in, lift. And breathe out, release. And still on the right side, holding the foot with the left hand, holding the knee with the right, and circling now with the knee. So you're circling into the hip socket. And I know some of you will maybe experience quite a lot of discomfort in the hip. So don't feel that these have to be big movements. It could be very delicate, tender movements. And then taking those circles in the opposite direction. Stirring the pot. And then from here, this will depend on you. Maybe you're able to bring the side of your foot into your left elbow and your right knee into your right elbow. This is called cradle the baby. Maybe that's not accessible to you, in which case just hold on to the lower leg and bring it in as close to your chest as possible. And then gently cradle your baby. If you can, you're looking to have your shin parallel with your collarbones, parallel with the floor. Really feeling into this part of the body. How's your breathing? Oh. That liability to have these mobile panels. Please keep going whilst the wall falls on me. Then gently releasing that leg. All is okay. Gently releasing that leg and noticing how you feel before we bring those movements to the left-hand side. So you're going to bring your left ankle over the right knee, or bring the foot inside the thigh. And as you breathe in, gently lift the knee. Be very tender with yourself, very gentle. And as you breathe out, ease the knee down to the floor, towards the floor. As you breathe in, lift. As you breathe out, lower. As you breathe in, lift. As you breathe out, lower. And then one more time, breathe in, lift. Really feeling now into the left hip socket. Maybe there's a lot of restriction there. And then we take the foot in the right hand and begin to circle, a little bit of stirring into the left hip. So what the ancient yogis believed, and then reversing the circles with Pawamuktasana, these anti-rheumatic exercises, is that we're essentially unblocking energy blocks through the body. And you don't need to get too woo-woo, too esoteric about this unless you like to. But actually simply notice what it feels like to free up all the joints in this very gentle, repetitive way. And then we come to cradle the baby. If you can, you take the foot into the elbow, or you simply hold the knee in the foot. And we're looking to bring the shin parallel to the collarbones into the floor. And then have a little bit of a rock of your baby. I really love doing this. Maybe feeling sensation down here on the left side. One more breath in. And then releasing the leg down. And I'm going to come out of danger with those panels and move forward. And then when you're ready, bring the soles of your feet together and your heels as far into the groin as possible. And if you can, hold on to your feet. Some people like to hold underneath the feet. Some people like to grasp the toes. And feel this gentle opening in the inner thighs and the groin. But you're rooting down through the sitting bones to give you a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a brightness in the chest. And then breathing and lift your knees. And breathe out, take both down. And breathe in, lift. And breathe out, release. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, release, and then stay here a moment, pushing down through the sitting bones and lifting up through the top of your head and smiling. Hope you're all okay at home. It's lovely to see so many of you here with me this morning. Really lovely. Wonderful. And then crossing your legs if you can. If you're unable to cross your legs, just bring your legs out in front of you. We're coming to Sukhasana, which is not a very open cross legs, but shins are crossed about halfway down. And then breathing in. As you breathe out, take a little twist to your right. And breathing in, come back to the center. And on the breath out, twist to your left. So find your way with this. I'm going to leave you, each breath in, you come back to the center. Each breath out, you go to the side. See how much softness and wriggly room for movement you can find rather than coming into a really rigid twist with a rod up your back. Try and make it fluid and exploratory. What do you feel in the ribs, for example, and the shoulder blades? Just taking a couple more in each direction. And then coming back to the center, just taking a moment to notice. It's really important to consolidate, not just to keep rushing from one thing to another, but to really notice how the body and the breath feel. And if your legs are crossed, changing the cross of your legs. If you like to sit on a chair, the rest of this sequence could be done on a chair. And bringing your fingertips to your shoulders and lifting your elbows out in front of you. Breathing in, open your palms out in front of you. And breathing out, bring your fingers back in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then take your elbows out to the sides. Breathing in. Really open out wide. Feel through to your fingertips. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let's do one more. Breathing in. So you might even feel your shoulders working already here. Breathing out. And then beginning to circle into the shoulder sockets. So you might start very tiny, but eventually you might find that your elbows meet out in front of you and you really draw them out behind you. Do what feels right to you. Bigger circles don't mean it's better. Absolutely not. It's the subtlety of your awareness that makes this practice the most profound and transformative thing. That's what's going to change things. That's what's going to bring that deep sense of calm and peace that so many of us love after a yoga practice. And then taking those circles in the opposite direction. So my shoulders are cracking, I don't know about yours. And then releasing down, taking a moment to feel. And then we do with our hands what we did with our feet. So just having your hands out in front of you, and breathing in, really open out wide. Imagine you're shooting sparks out of your fingertips, and breathe out, scrunch. And breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. And do that a few times. You might want to speed it up so it doesn't connect with the breath, but it's quite nice to connect it with the breath. It's really good for the nervous system to connect movement with the breath. There's a lot written about that. I'm not going to give you all the details now, and lots of you know more than me anyway. Beautiful. Then bringing your arms out in front of you, and on a breath in, push the heels of your hands away as you pull your fingers towards you. And as you breathe out, curl your fingers under, as if you're going to try and touch your wrists with your fingers, feeling that opening in the front of the wrists, and breathing in, and breathing out, and breathing in, and breathing out. Just a couple more times, feeling into maybe the aliveness of your wrists right now. And then beginning, you can take the thumbs and make little fists and beginning to circle. And if your shoulders are aching like mine are right now, bring the hands closer to you. You can go really slow, or you might go a little bit quicker, and after a while reverse the direction of the circles. So I'm moving through each one of these relatively quickly. You could actually take a lot longer on each little movement. If anybody's interested in the sequence, give me an email and I'll send you a PDF with the postures, with the movements. Take a moment to feel the body now, to notice the breath. And then if you're comfortable where you are, stay there. I'm going to change the cross of my legs again. And I'm going to come into a fuller cross. It'll just depend on you. And the last part of the body we're going to work on in this part of the sequence is the neck. So taking a breath in and feeling that brightness, that lift of the torso. And on the breath out, taking your chin right into your chest, feeling out through the back of the neck and even into the trapezius muscle at the top of the back. And then as you breathe in, gently lift your chin. Don't take your head back too far, but maybe a little bit to feel an opening in the throat. And then breathe out, come back in. Breathing in. Breathing out. With every breath in, you're breathing in the life of the day. And with every breath out, you're releasing what you don't need for your day. Breathing in. And then bring your head to neutral. Breathe out. Take a breath in. And then on the breath out, just ease the right ear to the right shoulder. I'm lifting my right shoulder to reach the ear, and then breathe into the top. Breathe out to the left. And take a few breaths. You might be going a lot slower or faster than me. Really just allowing yourself to notice sensation in the neck. My neck's so stiff. Just a couple more rounds like this. And then settling into neutral. And the last movement we'll do is moving the head from left to right. So take a breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly turn your head to the right, following with your eyes. And then breathe in, come back to the center. Breathing out to the left. Find your own rhythm. Make it all about the intimacy with your breath. Feeling every molecule of your skin, every cell. Until you're ready to come for a moment, maybe with your eyes closed, to simply observe what you feel. And we're going to come to lying on our backs, soles of the feet together, if that's comfortable for you, heels in towards the groin. So I'm going to invite you to come into a little bit of movement here, lifting the hips and the arms off the floor, but only come up as high as is right for you. Really pressing the heels of your feet together. Palms are down. And as you breathe in, lifting your arms, slowly lift the whole of the pelvis and peel the spine off the floor. And you can pause a moment before you breathe out and come down. Might be a little bit of tremoring, a little bit of rocking, that's okay. And take a few more like this if you want to. If you don't like the movement, you can stay with your hips and your back down. If you're feeling very vulnerable in your lower back, for example. Or you could also do the movement with your feet on the floor if you prefer that. And I've brought your feet together just to build up on some of the hip release work that we were doing earlier in the Paramuktasana sequence. If you really like a back bend, you could come up and stay up for a couple of breaths, really pushing the heels of your feet together and lifting the pelvis. And feeling the aliveness of the opening of the front of your body. One more breath in, and then gently, bone by bone, allowing your spine to release to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Take a moment to feel the body. And then bringing your right ankle over the left knee and lifting your left foot off the floor. So some of you will want to stay here with your hands on the floor, but some of you might be able to take your right hand through the gap in between your legs to clasp with the left hand either over the left knee and shin or behind the thigh. Both are good. You might like to pull your right toes towards the knee to protect the knee. So this isn't Paramuktasana anymore, this is simply pigeon on the back or eye of the needle. Can you soften into this pose, really softening in the jaw? If you can, you're easing the right knee away as you pull the left knee in towards you. Just to create a little bit of space. Maybe you're feeling a space between your sitting bones. And take a few breaths here. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, release the hands and drop the right foot towards the floor and the left knee. So you're just dropping down. Arms are out wide, and maybe if you can, look over your right hand. So my right knee is lifting towards the ceiling, the foot's on the floor, and my left leg is just resting. Can you soften here? You really soften into your shoulder blades. Soften behind your eyes, inside your mouth. Maybe even sense all the tissues around your pelvis melting away. And then gently coming back. And we'll change sides. So we take the left ankle across the right knee. Maybe this is enough for you with your hands down. Incidentally, you can do this against a wall, pressing the right foot against a wall. Or you might like to take the left hand and thread it through the gap in between your legs, interlacing with the right hand over the shin or behind the thigh. And take a few breaths here, easing the left knee away as you draw the right knee in towards you, maybe pulling your left toes towards the knee. So even though you might be pulling a little bit, can you really soften in the face and in the chest and the neck, the shoulders? Can you allow yourself to plunge into any sensation that is arising for you? For some people this is very intense, for other people there'll be little to no sensation. One more breath in. And then dropping the left foot over to the right, taking your arms out in a T shape. And looking over your left hand if you can. And coming to as much softness as you can find, as you can summon. As you melt into the pelvis, you melt into the jaw. Even the inside of your thighs. And then gently bringing your knees towards you, giving yourself a little bit of a hug. So it is 8 o'clock. If you're going to finish your morning's yoga now, I suggest that you just release yourself down in Shavasana. In fact, I suggest everybody does. I'm going to read a short poem, and then I'm going to leave you in silence to simply absorb the effects of the practice. And if you're coming on to the Hatha flow at 8:10, I would stay here until then. I would recommend that everybody takes 5 or 10 minutes relaxation at the end of any sequence, because that's when all the cooking happens, that's when all the goodness reverberates through the body. The poem this morning is another poem by Mary Oliver, and it's very aptly called the Morning Poem. Every morning the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heat ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the high branches. And the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. If it is your nature to be happy, you will swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting that the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray.